Okay, I admit it. I might be the worst podcaster out there. I simply do not find the motivation to do a weekly session, and then I get busy, and I can only apologize. But this time, I'm gonna jump right into it, and I just want to talk about entities that can visit you when you are tripping on magic mushrooms. So I don't know if a lot of people experience this, but recently I just found out how open my body is and what is happening exactly, because sometimes I get the feeling that there is something speaking to me. And I once was like really like I had a very good trip. I had the visuals and everything. I was set up in my living room and was just there on the couch, and then it was, like the feeling when you get really heavy and you get so tired and you just give in and you're like, okay, let's just lay here and see what happens. Like every time that happens, I'm kind of like with my body, I feel like it's knocked out. I'm just really sitting there like, oof. And then there comes a voice, and that voice was like, what is this? And I'm like, that's a printer. And oh, what is this? And what does this do? And how does this work? Until I realized, like, there's something else asking me that. And at that time, I didn't know that that this could happen because I don't have anybody to talk about this, right? So, and at this point in my life, I was just like, okay, this is definitely not me. This is definitely nothing from inside me. I know how a printer works. I know how this thing looks or what a plant looks like. And so and I explained it. Like this was really like a questionnaire, and it felt like something settled inside of me, some kind of strange energy just visiting and being curious about like what's going on in our world here and how does Earth feel. And after that, when I journeyed more into my spiritual experiences, I met with someone, and she's a shaman, and she explained to me like, yeah, you're very open and receptive for different energies when you on magic mushrooms, or when you trip. And like in general, it's not limited to magic mushrooms. It's also like with MDMA, ecstasy, LSD, everything that's a little bit more mind altering. Like you're very open um, and receptive. So it could happen that there's some energies or some frequencies that want to enter your body. And she told me to that I always need to protect myself because, especially when we take plant medicine, let's call it that, um, your root chakra is wide open. And if you're not aware of that, which I wasn't, like you let in anything, and that could be a good thing and that could be a bad thing. Like, I mean, in general speaking, like there is no good entities, bad entities, good energies, bad entities. There's just lower and higher frequencies, and they make you feel a certain way, right? So she told me to always protect myself. So just by saying the words out, only high frequencies and good things are allowed, only high vibrations, love and light is allowed in, only what's seeking the light is allowed in. I do not allow any dark entities, dark energies, low frequencies and vibrations into my space. You are not welcome here. Please stay away. Even just saying this, she said, like total game changer, because they have to listen, since they can never, she said, like they can never harm you, even though you, like some people see things, they see someone standing in a corner or something like that. And she says, like, yeah, that could happen, but they cannot really possess you. It's not like in the horror movies or anything like that, because they're vibrating on a different frequency. And yeah, so ever since then, I'm protecting myself. And I once had an experience on magic mushrooms where I did my protection ritual before, just saying it out loud. I did a YouTube video on that, so you can listen to that and do some affirmations with me if you like. It's the one I posted before this. And I actually, like, it was a bit tough. I was a bit tired. I was a bit overwhelmed. And I was on this magical trip. And it was, honestly, it was beautiful because it said like I only allow love and light and everything that's good and high frequency and high vibrations in. I saw this, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. It was, like when you see something, but it's inside your brain. You see it with your brain, but not with your eyes. It's difficult to explain, but I guess you know what I mean. And it was a light. It was like a shooting star. It was light and it was very white and bright. And it had this, like at the end, it had this form of a flower, and like the tips were a little bit rosé and pinkish, and I don't know, it was beautiful. I knew it was love. I knew it was something magical. I kind of felt it was like a soul, and that soul was like, hey, can I experience some stuff through you? Like I want to reincarnate on this earth. Like I want to be human, and I want to find out what it means to be human before. And even though it was beautiful and it would not have harmed me, I said like, I'm so sorry today, no, because it's taking quite a lot of energy when something is inside your body, and I had to deny it. And I kind of felt bad for it because it was so beautiful. But yeah, so ever since then, I just protect myself. And I don't know, like if you have ever experienced this, maybe let me know in the comments. Is this something that other people also experience? Like I'm very aware of my inner aspects and like the stuff that's inside of me, that is, but it's me, and it never feels like something foreign. As well, it kind of raises the question, can we use this to our advantage? Because it goes both ways, right? I can ask anything about the universe that I want to know, or ask that entity or energy, wherever it may come from, how they experience reality, or if they experience it at all, or what it feels like to be them. Because right now I actually feel more like a channel, which might is connected to my abilities that I'm just now discovering during my Reiki trainings. I feel like I get downloads, as people call it, and I feel like something is speaking through me, which is very strange. And I'm just now realizing when I'm talking about it that this is probably happening and has something to do with me. Or can somebody tell me, do you have these experiences too? Is it unique for some people? That would be really interesting for me to find out. These experiences always shape us in some kind of form. Like every time we are having a mushroom trip, right, we understand something better about the world, about us, about different realms, how the universe works. And I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I feel different after every trip, and in a good way, and more open and receptive. So maybe I will use those energies as well and not just be used by them. Not that they would use me. I also, like when I started doing magic mushrooms, it was so funny. I had a sore on my lip, and for some reason, I don't know, I looked at this, and like your visuals, they're very heightened, and they start shifting and stuff. And I felt like there was this knowing, like, oh, this cold sore, that's a different entity. That's something from a water planet that wanted to experience what it means to be in a human body. So I kind of knew, like, okay, there's things and vibrations and frequencies, entities, whatever you want to call it, from different planets, and they enter you, and it's kind of a holiday to them, and but they do not realize that their frequencies don't match with the human frequency, so we get sick. And so that was my explanation for the cold sore. uh, and then I was like asking, like, yeah, but then, like, how do I get rid of it? Like, obviously it's not their fault, like they didn't mean to harm me, it was just what it is, they're having a holiday. Right? And then I heard this voice saying, like, oh, you need to sneeze, which was ridiculous. Like, I felt so stupid. But ever since I'm doing my protection rituals, sometimes I sneeze after that. Like, there is no reason for it. It's not like a strobe light hitting me, or I'm looking into the sun or something, or there's like dust somewhere. No, but it's so funny. Ever since then, I think my friends will probably think I'm crazy for that. But ever since then, whenever someone is sick, I say like sneeze, like make yourself sneeze, like get rid of all that shit. Like that's how you get rid of those entities. um, yeah, so hopefully this was helpful for you. I'm very curious what's your experience with this. Please let me know in the comments. I know I'm a terrible. I will always answer. I might not always upload a new episode of this podcast, but it's yeah, whenever I feel like I will do it. And thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments.